How to stop picking fights with my boyfriend. All couples argue, it's just a fact of life. But if you often find yourself wondering why you keep picking fights with the man you love, it might be time to do some self-reflection. Read through this article to learn why we pick little fights with our significant others and how, exactly, we can stop the cycle of conflict. Take some time to calm down if you feel angry. Oftentimes, things seem like a huge deal in the moment. If you find yourself getting frustrated or upset at your boyfriend, take a few minutes to yourself. Head to the other room, take a few deep breaths, and try to quell your emotions. This can help you stop lashing out in the moment when your emotions are running high. You might want to say something to your boyfriend like, "Hey, I'm feeling a little flustered and I need to calm down. Just give me like 5 minutes." That way, he knows you aren't mad at him and that you're just trying to take a time out. Pick and choose your battles. Not everything needs to be a full-fledged fight with your BF. In long-term relationships, you might get annoyed or irritated at your partner for little things, and that's okay. Before you bring something up or pick a fight, try to think about if it affects your relationship as a whole, or if you might be able to let it go. For instance, if you get irritated at your boyfriend for chewing loudly, you probably don't need to start a fight with him about it. But, if you're annoyed that your boyfriend is always late to events, it might be something you want to bring up. Take your boyfriend's words at face value. Try not to read into anything he says as being negative. When we're in a relationship with someone, we often assign things to their words that they aren't actually saying. Make sure you aren't reading in between the lines to avoid assuming something that isn't true. For example, if your boyfriend says, "I'm just really stressed with work right now," he just means his job is tough. He doesn't mean that he needs you to get a better paying job to take the pressure off of him. If your boyfriend says, "I'm really tired," he's actually just tired. He doesn't mean that you're exhausting him or that he needs time away from you. Choose your own words carefully. If you say whatever comes to mind, you could offend your boyfriend. Instead of reacting to him with anger, take a pause, and try to think about what you're saying before you say it. You can use the time to edit or change what you were going to say in order to avoid picking a fight. For example, maybe you were about to say, "The house is a mess. Why didn't you clean up?" Instead, take a breath and think. Then, revise your sentence to something like, "Hey honey, it's getting kind of messy in here. Could we work together to clean up a little before we relax?" Or, maybe you were about to say, "You never pay attention to me. You're always on your phone." Take a moment to think, then say, "Could we turn off our phones and have some quality time together? I miss you, and I'd love to reconnect." Keep your voice low and your tone level. Raising your voice is a quick way to start a fight. When you and your boyfriend are talking, keep your voice neutral, and stick to using a normal talking level. If you find yourself wanting to get loud or yell, take a few deep breaths until you can calm down again. Try to remember that yelling rarely ever helps solve issues. Instead, it will probably make your boyfriend feel bad, and he might get defensive. Listen to your boyfriend when he talks. Hear his side of the story, and ask follow-up questions for clarification. When you're figuring out issues together, it's important to let your boyfriend talk, too. Even if you don't agree with what he's saying, it's better to get everything out in the open so you can work together to find a solution. If you don't quite understand what he's saying, ask something like, "I don't think I understand. Could you explain a little more?" Or, try rephrasing his words to make sure you get it. Say something like, "So what you're saying is..."